Today, I'm going to share with you the exact credit card strategy that I used to travel completely for free and allowed me to earn 5,000 worth of cashback per year in rewards. And by the end of this video, you will have my complete 90-day roadmap that takes you step by step from opening your first credit card to booking your first free trip. But for all of this to make sense, I first have to explain what every beginner gets wrong about credit cards. So you've clicked this video because you want to travel for free, you want to earn cash back, but you've probably heard all this talk about credit cards being dangerous, credit cards will ruin your credit score, credit cards will put you in debt, and to an extent, you know, if you're stupid with credit cards, yeah, they can be dangerous. But what I want to get across to people is, and I think this is where the fine line is drawn, because I see a lot of people waste opportunities with credit cards. The problem isn't credit cards themselves. The problem is financial education. Nobody teaches you this stuff in school. Nobody sits you down and explains how the system actually works. I speak to people all the time who are scared of credit cards because their parents told them credit cards are bad, or because they've heard horror stories. But these same people are missing out on thousands of pounds every single year. Thousands, and for what? Because they don't understand how the game works. There's no point getting credit cards without understanding the basics. There's no point getting into this game if you don't know the rules. But when you understand how credit cards work, when you understand the system inside and out, that's when credit cards become the most powerful financial tool you can possibly ever have. Now, let me give you some context here. I travel constantly. You know, if you watch my videos, you know I'm always in different countries. I was just in South Korea for 4 months, Vietnam, Thailand, Japan, Munich, and guess what? I'm actually off to Brazil as well. But the most important thing here is I didn't pay for a single flight, not one. I didn't pay for most of my hotels either. And it's not because I'm rich. I come from a single parent household. Me and my mom, we didn't have much growing up, but I learned this system. I understood how to make credit cards work for me instead of against me. Last year alone, I earned over 500,000 points just from welcome bonuses. That's enough for multiple business class flights anywhere in the world. I'm talking first class flights to Dubai, business class to Tokyo, free hotel nights in the most expensive cities, all because I understand how to use credit cards properly, and I'm going to teach you exactly how I do it. But before we get into the strategy, all I ask for is if you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy the content that I drop, just drop a like, drop a comment, and drop a subscribe. It helps push these videos out on the algorithm and gets other people to see the content. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So how I want to start this off is kind of understanding how credit cards actually work. And the first thing I need to explain to you is what credit actually is, because 99% of people don't understand the basic concept, and then they wonder why they get into trouble. So credit is money that you borrow from a lender, like a bank or a credit card company, that you agree to pay back later. Usually it does come with interest. It lets you buy things now and pay for them over time. Simple as that. It's not free money, it's borrowed money. But here's what most people don't understand. Credit cards are actually a form of revolving credit. This means you can borrow money, pay it back, and then borrow again up to your credit limit. It's like having a flexible loan that you can use over and over again. The bank makes money in several ways. Interest if you don't pay it in full, annual fees on some of the cards, and they have inter-exchange fees from merchants when you use the card, and late fees if you miss payments. Understanding this helps you see why they're willing to give you rewards. They're making money from other sources and mistakes of certain people. Now, it's great to understand what credit is, but what is a credit limit and how does a credit limit work? Every single credit card has what's called a credit limit. This is the maximum amount that the bank is willing to lend you. If your limit is £2,000, you can't spend more than £2,000 on that card. But here's what's interesting. Your credit limit isn't random. Banks use something called the 5 C's of credit. That's character, capacity, capital collateral, and conditions. They look at your credit history, your income, your existing debt, your assets, and current economic conditions. When you're starting out, you might get a £500 or £1,000 limit. That's normal, but as you build your credit history and income increases, these limits can grow to 10,000, 20,000, even 50,000 or more. I have cards with limits over hundreds of thousands of pounds now, but I started with a £500 limit years ago. The key is to never max out your limit. In fact, you want to keep your utilization, that's how much you're using compared to your limit, below 30%, ideally below 10%. So if you have a £1,000 limit, try not to have more than £100 to £300 outstanding at any time. Now we need to understand what happens when you actually spend on the card, and you have something called a statement balance and a current balance. This will save you money. Now here's where it gets crucial. Understanding the difference between these two is key. Your statement balance is the total amount you owe on your credit card at the end of your last billing cycle. This is the number that matters for avoiding interest. If you pay this full amount by the due date, you usually won't be charged any interest. Your current balance is what you owe right now, including any new purchases since your last statement. This changes every time you make a purchase or payment. Here's the key: you need to pay your statement balance in full, not just your current balance. A lot of people get confused by this and end up paying interest when they think they shouldn't. Let me give you an example. Your statement balance is £800 due on the 15th, and on the 10th you make some new purchases totaling £200. So your current balance now is £1,000. You only need to pay the £800 statement balance by the 15th to avoid interest on that amount. The next £200 in new purchases will appear on your next statement. Now, a missed payment is the smallest amount you must pay each month to avoid late fees and keep your account in good standing. It's usually around 2 to 3% of your balance, sometimes with a minimum amount like £25. But here's the thing, I cannot stress this enough. Paying only the minimum is financial suicide. Let me show you why with real numbers. Say you have a £2,000 balance on a card with a 25% APR. If you only pay the minimum payment of £50 per month, it will take you over 4 years to pay off the debt, and you'll pay over £1,000 in interest. That means you're paying £3,000 total for £2,000 worth of purchases. This is how credit card companies make their money, and people who don't understand the system, don't be one of those people. Pay your statement balance in full every single month, no exceptions. Now, what happens when you start incurring interest is APR kicks in, and APR stands for annual percentage rate. This is the yearly cost of borrowing money, including interest and fees. It's what you pay if you don't pay your balance in full. Different cards have different APRs. Some cards have introductory 0% APR periods, meaning no interest for a certain period, usually 12 to 21 months. Some cards have APRs around 15 to 20%. Others can be 25 to 35%. But here's the beautiful thing. If you pay your statement balance in full every month, the APR becomes completely irrelevant. You could have a card with a 50% APR and it wouldn't matter because you're never paying interest. This is why I always tell people to focus on rewards and benefits rather than APR when choosing credit cards, assuming you're going to pay in full every single month. Now, what most credit cards also have is something called a grace period. This is usually 21 to 25 days from when your statement is generated to when payment is due. During this time, you don't pay any interest on new purchases if you pay your statement balance in full. This grace period is what makes credit cards so powerful. You're essentially getting a free 21 to 55-day loan on every purchase, depending on when your billing cycle is. You make the purchases. For example, if you make a purchase on the first day of your billing cycle, you might not have to pay for it for almost 2 months. That's free money you can keep in your savings account, earning interest, or money you can put towards a side hustle or a business. Now, moving forward in this section, I want to talk about why use credit cards. What are the real benefits? And let's start off with the most crucial thing. Credit building is the foundation of your finances. This is huge, and most people don't understand how important this is until it's too late. Your credit score affects everything: getting a mortgage, renting a flat, sometimes even getting a job or insurance rates. Credit cards are one of the best ways to build credit history. Your credit score is calculated based on several factors, and we're gonna break it into a pie chart. 35% of your file is payment history. Do you pay your credit on time? 30% is credit utilization. How much of your available credit are you actually using? 15% is length of credit history. How long have you had your credit for? 10% is credit mix. Do you have different types of credit? And then the final 10% is new credit inquiries. How often are you applying for new credit? Using credit cards responsibly hit most of these factors positively. Pay on time, keep utilization low, and over time your credit score will improve. I've seen people go from no credit to excellent credit in a matter of 6 to 12 months just by using credit cards properly. Now, credit cards also come with a lot of added perks. One of them is protection and insurance. Credit cards give you protection that debit cards simply don't have. For example, under Section 75 of the Consumer Credit Act in the UK, credit card companies are jointly liable with retailers for purchases between £100 and £30,000. This means if something goes wrong, you can claim your money back from the credit card company. I've used this protection multiple times. When a hotel I booked went out of business before my trip, I got my money back through my credit card. When I bought something online that never arrived, the credit card company sorted it out. Credit cards also typically offer purchase protection against theft or damage, extended warranties on purchases, price protection if you find something cheaper elsewhere, travel insurance when you book with the card, rental car insurance, and fraud protection. With debit cards, the money comes straight out of your account and it can take weeks to get it back if there's any type of fraud. With credit cards, you can dispute charges while the investigation happens. Now, all of this is great, but you also get what we all really care about: financial value perks. That's free money. This is where it gets really interesting. Credit cards essentially pay you to use them through various rewards programs. One being cashback cards give you a percentage back on purchases. Some cards give 1% on everything. Others give higher rates on specific categories. For example, I have credit cards that give 5% on groceries, 3% on petrol, and 2% on restaurants. Points cards, these are my favorite. They give you points that you can redeem for travel, merchandise, or cash. The key is understanding the redemption value. Some points are worth 1p each, while others can be worth 2 to 5p each when redeemed for travel. Miles credit cards give you airline miles that you can use for flights. These can be incredibly valuable if you know how to use them properly. I've redeemed miles for business class flights that would cost over £4,000 for just the taxes and fees. Let me give you a real life example. I spend about £2,000 to £5,000 per month on my personal expenses, all the money that I would actually spend, and I do it all on my credit card. With the right credit card mix, I earn about 2.5% back on average. That's about £800 to £1,500 per year just for using the credit cards instead of cash or debit cards. Now, like I was saying, traveling and hotels and flights are what these credit cards are really useful for. And this is where credit cards really shine for people like me who travel a lot. Premium cards offer perks that can save you thousands on airport lounge access. Instead of sitting in crowded terminals, you get access to quiet lounges with free food, drinks, Wi-Fi, and comfortable seating. This alone can be worth hundreds per year if you travel frequently. Hotel status is another thing you get. Many cards give you automatic elite status with hotel chains. This means free upgrades, late checkouts, bonus points, and sometimes free breakfast. You also get travel credits. Some cards give you annual credits for travel purchases. I have cards that give me £200 per year in travel credits. Another thing that we've already touched on a little bit is travel insurance. Comprehensive travel insurance is included with many premium credit cards, saving you money on separate policies. You also get miscellaneous stuff as well, like concierge service, which premium cards often include, which can help you with reservations, travel planning, and even personal tasks. I live a lifestyle that would cost me thousands more without these perks. Free flights, hotel upgrades, lounge access. It's like being a VIP everywhere I go. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the last time I actually paid for breakfast at a hotel. It's always free, I always get the best rooms, and I always get upgraded to the presidential suites. Actually, funnily enough, I'll try to throw it up somewhere in this video. I just got back from Egypt and I got upgraded to their best suite that they had possible, and the room, humongous. Now, as a part of this video, I'm gonna give you guys my 5 credit card commandments, the non-negotiable rules. If you can't follow these rules, please don't get a credit card. I'm serious. Commandment number 1, pay in full every single month. I don't care what anyone tells you. Pay your full statement balance every month. No excuses, no exceptions. This is the golden rule that makes everything else possible. Set up a direct debit to pay the full statement balance automatically. Don't rely on remembering to do it manually. Automate this and you'll never pay interest. I've been using credit cards for years and I've never paid a penny in interest. Never, because I follow this rule religiously. The moment you start carrying a balance and paying interest, the rewards become worthless. Everything I teach becomes irrelevant. Now, the second commandment is never miss a payment. Missing payments is financial suicide. You'll get hit with late fees, usually £12 to £25. Your credit score will take a hit and you might lose promotional APR rates or rewards. Set up multiple reminders, use your phone, use email alerts, use automatic payments, whatever it takes. There's no excuse for missing a payment in 2025 with all the technology available. Even if you can't pay the full balance for some reason, always pay at least the minimum on time. But remember commandment 1, you should always be paying the full balance. Now, the third commandment is keeping utilization low. This is huge for your credit score. Use less than 30% of your credit limit, ideally under 10%. If your limit is £1,000, don't have more than £100 to £300 outstanding. But here's a trick most people don't know. You can make multiple payments throughout the month to keep your utilization low. You don't have to wait for your statement to pay. I often make payments 2 to 3 times per month to keep my utilization low, especially on cards I use heavily. This keeps my credit score high and shows lenders I manage credit responsibly. Now, the fourth commandment is don't use your credit cards for cash withdrawals. Never, ever, ever, I repeat, ever take cash out on a credit card. This is one of the fastest ways to get into trouble. Cash advances typically come with immediate interest charges, no grace period, higher APR than purchases, cash advance fees, usually 3 to 5% of the amount, lower limits than your purchase limit. There's literally no good reason to take cash out on a credit card. If you need cash, use your debit card or go to the bank. And the fifth and final commandment is use it like a debit card. This is the mindset that will keep you safe. Only spend what you can afford to repay immediately. Don't think of your credit limit as extra money you can spend. Think of it as a tool for earning rewards on money you would spend anyways. Before every purchase, ask yourself, do I have the money in my bank account to pay for this right now? If the answer is no, don't buy it with a credit card. The mindset has kept me out of debt while maximizing the benefits of credit cards. Treat your credit card like a debit card and you'll never get into trouble. Now that we've gone through the basics and the commandments, let's get into some advanced strategies, taking it to the next level. I want you to understand credit card categories and optimization. Once you understand the basics, you can start optimizing your spending across multiple cards. Different cards give different rewards for different categories. For example, grocery cards might give 3 to 5% back on supermarket purchases. Petrol credit cards might give 3 to 5% back on fuel. Travel credit cards might give you 2 to 3 times points on travel purchases. Restaurant credit cards might give you 3 to 4% back on dining, and everything cards give you 1 to 2% back on all purchases. The strategy is to have different credit cards for different spending categories and use the right card for each purchase. I carry 4 to 5 credit cards and know exactly which one to use for each type of purchase. For example, when I buy groceries, I use my American Express Gold card because it gives me 4 times points on supermarkets. When I buy petrol, I use my Tesco Club Card credit card because it gives me extra club card points. When I book travel, I use my travel rewards card. This category optimization can easily double or triple your rewards compared to just using one credit card for everything. Now, the next advanced strategy is the art of welcome bonuses. Welcome bonuses are where the real money is. These are one-time bonuses you get for signing up for a new credit card and meeting a minimum spending requirement. A typical welcome bonus might be spend £3,000 in the first 3 months and earn 60,000 bonus points. Those 60,000 points might be worth £600 in cash or over £1,800 in travel value. The key is timing these bonuses with your natural spending. Don't spend extra money just to hit the bonuses. Time your applications with periods when you have higher natural spending, like moving houses, wedding expenses, or business purchases. I typically apply for 2 to 3 new cards per year, earning 200 to 400,000 bonus points annually just from welcome bonuses. That's thousands of pounds in free travel. Now, something that might crop into a couple of your heads is annual fees and when are they actually worth it? And not all good credit cards are free. Some of the best rewards credit cards come with an annual fee, but they can still be profitable if the benefits outweigh the costs. For example, a card might have a £200 annual fee but offer £200 travel credit, which breaks you even immediately. Airport lounge access worth £200 if you travel. Hotel status benefits worth hundreds in upgrades. Higher earning rates on purchases. You need to calculate whether the benefits are worth more than the fee based on your spending and lifestyle. For me, cards with annual fees often provide the best value because I travel frequently and can maximize on all the benefits. Now, one final thing I kind of want to touch on, and I want to kind of take us back to when I was talking about credit scores and your credit report, is credit score optimization. Your credit score affects what cards you get approved for and what limits you receive. So if we go back to the pie chart, and I'll break down exactly how to optimize it. So like I said, 35% is payment history. So always pay on time. Set up automatic payments. Credit utilization makes 30%. So keep your total utilization under 10% across all cards. Length of credit history makes 15%. So keep old cards open to maintain average account age. And then credit mix is 10%. So have different types of credit cards, loans, mortgages. This will help you a lot. And then final 10% is new credit. Don't apply for too many cards too quickly. I check my credit score monthly using free services like ClearScore or Experian, and I aim to keep my total utilization under 5% or even 10%, and I've never missed a payment. Now let's talk about some common mistakes and how to avoid them. Mistake number one that people make with their credit cards is that they apply for too many credit cards way too quickly. Don't apply for multiple credit cards in a short period. Each application typically results in a hard inquiry on your credit report, which can temporarily lower your credit score. Space applications at least 3 months apart. The second mistake is closing old credit cards. Keep your oldest credit card open even if you don't use it at all. Closing old credit cards can hurt your credit score by reducing your average account age and total available credit. The third mistake is not reading terms and conditions. Always read the fine print. Understand when bonus categories are activated, annual fee policies, foreign transaction fees, and reward expiration policies. These are key. The fourth mistake is chasing rewards over financial health. Never spend money just to earn rewards. The best rewards aren't worth it if you're going into debt or overspending. Mistake number 5 is not having a redemption strategy. Don't just accumulate points without a plan. Understand the best way to redeem your rewards and have goals for what you want to achieve. Now, as long as you don't make these 5 mistakes and you follow the 5 commandments, you should be fine. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is all easy and for everyone. It requires discipline. It requires you to be organized. It requires you to actually understand what you're doing and follow the rules. But one thing I can promise you, if you follow what I'm telling you, if you treat credit cards with respect and understand the system, they will change your life. I sit back sometimes and think about all the free trips I've taken, all the money I've earned just by using credit cards instead of cash. The people who get into trouble with credit cards are the people who ignore the fundamentals. They're the people who think credit cards are free money. They're the people who don't have discipline. Don't be that person. I come from a single parent household. Me and my mom didn't have much growing up, but I learned this system. I understood how to make it work for me. Now I travel the world for free. I earn thousands in cash back every single year, and I live a lifestyle that would cost me thousands more without these strategies. You're only on this earth for a limited amount of time. You want to see the world. You want to travel. You want to experience different cultures. This is how you do it without breaking the bank. This is how you make the financial system work for you instead of against you. So on that note, guys, I'm going to call the video here. I feel like I've covered everything you need to know to get started with credit cards safely and profitably. This is literally years of experience condensed into one video. Remember, and I can't stress this enough, only do this if you have discipline. Only do this if you understand the fundamentals. If you're going to ignore the 5 commandments, if you're going to spend money you don't have, don't even think about getting a credit card. But if you can follow the rules, if you can treat credit cards like debit cards, if you can be disciplined and organized, then welcome to the world of free travel and cashback rewards. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, all I ask for is drop a like, drop a comment, and drop a subscribe. It helps push these videos out there into the algorithm and helps other people discover this information. Let me know in the comments what your goals are. Are you looking to earn cash back, travel for free, or just build credit? I read every single comment and I might make a follow-up video based on your question. I'll see you in the next video where I might be showing you exactly how to book your first free flight using points. Until then, start working on your credit and remember, discipline is key.